Airbnb rolling out one of a kind, I should say, icons here in Paris at the Musée d'Orsay. And join us right now, first on CNBC, is Brian Chesky. He's the co-founder and CEO of Airbnb. And this is a bit of an unusual interview. We were going to do this in person, Brian, but A, we get to see where you are, and B, as we keep mentioning, because you're going to be hearing more sirens behind me, the streets of Paris now at 1 p.m., many of which have been shut down. So it's getting harder and harder to get around the city. But, Brian, it's nice to see you. You are at one of the newest icons of Airbnb. Tell us where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I am in the famous clock tower of the Musée d'Orsay, and we basically turned this clock tower into one of the most remarkable Airbnbs on Earth. This room was designed by the designer who designed the Olympic torch, which is behind me. This overlooks the River Seine. And if we were to walk out on this terrace, you see perhaps the best view of the opening game. This may very well be the best seat in the house. And this is part of a program called Icons on Airbnb, which are extraordinary experiences by the biggest icons in culture.
How far do you think you can take this icon piece of the business? And is the icon piece of the business a profitable one, or is it more for marketing? How do you think about it?
Yeah, this is much more about brand building, but I think this is a sign of things to come, because we think, one of the things we wanted to do is really keep Airbnb top of mind and be able to reach new audiences and be able to demonstrate that Airbnb isn't just about a place to stay, it's about experiences. And one of the things we want to do is take the magic of icons and bring it to millions of people, experiences they can book. And so I think this is just a little bit of a hint of where we're going. But for now, this is a little bit more brand building.
But talk also, if you could, about what's happening here at the Olympics. You are housing, I believe, hundreds of thousands of people during the next 2 weeks here.
Yeah, it's crazy, Andrew. I mean, we are literally hosting hundreds of thousands of people. In fact, the number of people we're hosting, you could fill the Olympic Stadium 5 times over. This is the biggest event in Airbnb history. It's the biggest hosting event ever. And I think this speaks to something, which is that Airbnb was designed for events. As you know, we started for a design conference because hotels are sold out. And often when there are these giant events, hotels are sold out. And so we allow large events like the Olympics to increase capacity. And what we also do is allow prices to stay much more affordable. So to imagine being able to have 5 times Olympic Stadium here, it's been a huge operation. Really proud of our team. So
Becky, I think, has got a question back in New York. Before we get to that, just one quick question. How much money will a lot of the folks who, by the way, have left this city but opened up their homes to Airbnb make?
Well, we estimated the overall I don't have that number off the top of my head, but we estimated the overall economic impact of the guests coming to Paris on Airbnb, and it's about $1 billion of economic impact to the city from all these guests. And we believe a large percent of this economic impact is incremental. We don't imagine all these guests obviously would have come because they would have had nowhere to stay. So it's pretty amazing. The average host here in Paris makes $2,200, and we have 150,000 apartments in homes in Paris and Airbnb, and 40% have been added just this year alone.
Hey, Brian, thanks, Andrew. But Brian, quick question. How much is the room that you're in cost per night? Because it looks amazing, first of all. And second of all, why are you in it 7 hours before the opening ceremony? Did anybody rent it for today?
Yeah. So someone did. It's a bit more of a promotion. So, if we charged this, it would have gone for many thousands of dollars. But instead, we opened it up and we allowed people to apply, and we picked some lucky winners. There's a couple from California. They won this. But these icon experiences, millions of people have tried to stay in them. We got more demand than we should have expected, although we should probably have anticipated a lot of people wanting to stay here.
What's a couple thousand? 10,000? What's a couple thousand, Brian?
What people would pay for this? I mean, they would have paid a lot more than that. I mean, think about it. If you have like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people applying, God knows what this is. This is truly, not priceless, but it's pretty close. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and that's what a lot of our experiences are.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Hey, Brian, talk about maybe a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Yesterday, I believe you were at lunch with President Macron, along with Elon Musk and a whole number of other business executives. Curious what everybody talked about and what the sense was, not just of these Olympic Games, but of the broader economy.
Yeah, there were a number of things being discussed. I'd say maybe 2 big topics that stuck out to me. One is just the broad economic impact of the Olympic Games here in Paris. I mean, it was not lost that a lot of the CEOs were participating in some way, providing service for the Olympics. I highlighted, obviously, the hundreds of thousands of people staying in Paris and Airbnb. Another topic was just the changing nature of the economy, probably powered by AI and robotics, and what that's going to mean for the next generation. One of the points I made is, though you could imagine all the jobs that will be in the near term potentially automated by AI, some of the jobs of the heart, hosting on Airbnb, travel experiences, are going to be here to stay for quite a long time. So that's one of the things I highlighted.